Old City. It is the second session of Matters of the Moment this morning, and like I announced to you earlier, Honorable Barrister Chief Ray Nnaji, a political analyst, a politician, and a legal practitioner, is here in the house to talk to us about the issue of Oyo State Council Chairman boycotting the Supreme Court injunction that all the 704 local government areas in Nigeria enjoy financial autonomy. The 33 council chairman in Oyo State a couple of days ago pulled out of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, over the Supreme Court's judgment granting fiscal autonomy to local governments across the country. Barrister Nnaji, you are a politician as well as a legal practitioner. So this morning we're looking at the legal implication and of course the political imperative. Is it possible for 33 out of the whole lot to pull out and say, no, we're no longer going to be in the same body with you, we're not going to be guided by the same activities or plans anymore? Is it workable?
Yes, it's possible because the Constitution guarantees freedom of association. It's not compulsory for one to belong to an association. If you are a member of an association and you feel that you are no longer interested in being in that association, you can pull out of it. The mere fact that there's this LGO of your state pulled out of ALGON does not mean that ALGON does not exist any longer. They will still have to be going on. And the mere fact that they said they are not going to be part of the judgment, the implementation of the judgment of the Supreme Court with regards to financial autonomy has no legal implication or no adverse implication, because of the fact that that judgment is not even compulsory that all local governments should queue in there. Because
coming from the Supreme Court,
yeah, it doesn't necessarily follow, because the law is very clear. If you are not a party to a suit or a matter, and another is given, you are not bound to obey it, because we are not a party. Local government, 774 local government, we are not party to that suit taken to the Supreme Court by the Attorney General of the Federation against 36 states that did not join 774 local government council. Therefore, it's not bound for them to obey it if they like. But it is a way to tell them that, look, we have guaranteed you to make use of your money. It has actually made the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission to remit their money directly to the local government, because they couldn't have done that earlier without that kind of decision. But the problem there lies on the fact that that decision seems to have amended Section 162 without an amendment, because Section 162 says there is a need for you to have a pool of finances going to the local government, especially to a state where you have joint account, where all the money comes in, then you distribute. That section has not been amended up till now, because I was expecting the National Assembly to follow up by amending that position, because of the fact that the judicial pronouncement has actually amended that position. But it still remains that while the powers to elect the local government executives and the councillors still remain with the state, that financial autonomy is not complete, because of the fact that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. If the governor is the one that determines how you come into council as a chairman or councillor, you still have to obey him. And it is not even deprive the governor from making some financial checks, some regulations that will checkmate how you spend your money. Like during our own time, in 1997-98, under the military, we have our money directly from the Federation account, but we still have a check There's certain regulation given to us. If we are to approve certain amount beyond this, we must get approval from the governor.
Okay.
Yes, like if we are to approve above 500,000 as at then, we must have to apply to the governor and explain why, what we want the money to be used before the approval will be given to us. And we will not spend it, we will not withdraw it without the approval from the governor. Because if you don't do that, the TR, that is the treasurer and secretary, will query that expenditure you want to do. They will now query it and say, we want to see the approval of the governor with regard to the financial regulation given to us. So that's what I'm trying to say. This decision of the Supreme Court is not complete, it's not comprehensive, because the governors still have a very strong hold over local government executives and the councillors because of the State Independent Electoral Commission that is still conducting the election. Now they wanted to introduce a bill that will now create another electoral commission that will be in charge of local government election. But INEC said they are capable of doing that. Why are you taking it? Why are you creating another commission when we are there and we have done an election in the past in the entire country? Why can't we do it? We have the capability of doing it. And if INEC is the one conducting it, there will be semblance of independence, unlike what we have in a situation whereby once you conduct the election, the party in control of the state will now clear the entire election, no matter how, there's no way any party that will even get a seat, they will tell you 100% belongs to the ruling party, which means it's not an election, it's a selection. So that is the point I was saying as at that point in time, that even this decision that did not have any effect with regard to the election of those members of the executive and the legislative house of the local government, that decision of the Supreme Court does not make any meaning, does not make any sense. Even if when your money is going directly to you, the governors still have a control over you. There are certain things that will send you some circular, and the rest of them, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. You cannot say no. And if you say no, probably some mischievous governors will now make before you go into the office, you sign some documents, resignation of your position without date, so that when you do this, they will just fix date and come out with the public and say you have resigned, and that is the end of you.
Wow,
that is the point.
Yeah.
So that autonomy, they were saying financial autonomy, because the president wants to be dealing directly with the local government chairman, believing that the governors can box him into a corner, and that's what his idea. But because of this end bad governance protest, they have not had time to be planning with regards to that. So they are now focusing on the protesters. Now, maybe after the protesters issue, they will now start thinking, because you have not ended 1 year in office, you start thinking of what will happen in 2027 without knowing it is God that will determine what will happen tomorrow. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. Look at my friend Ifeanyi Ubah, who is preparing for governor of Anambra State. Where is he? So that is the point. You know, when you are thinking like this without believing that God is the one that determines tomorrow, it baffles me. That is the point.
You see, this particular boycott, as announced by Oyo State Local Government Chairman, brought some issues to the front burner. There's been an ongoing protest of against bad governance, against hunger, against all manner of heights and increase in petrol and the tariff of electricity. It looks like the federal government is solo in running the affairs of the country, and their decisions are impacting negatively on everyone, and everyone is not looking at the state governors, they're not looking at their local government chairman, the government at the grassroots. And this coming from the government at the grassroots, after people have rejoiced that they can now make decisions, do the projects they are expected to, be held accountable without them being saying we were the governor's puppet. Okay, and this is coming up. High Chief, are we addressing the real issues we should be addressing at this point as a country?
No, one thing you understand is that we are addressing it partially. One thing you have to understand is that the federal government, sometimes used to parry the blames to the state. But major decisions and policies that change the life of people comes from the federal government. Like this tariff and the fuel subsidy removal. The state has no power to do that. It is the federal government that controls the resources with regards to petroleum products. The state has no, and then when you remove it and you increase the price of fuel pump, the state has no means to say, no, in my own state I'm going to change the price. You can't say it because independent marketers are now attached to the NNPC, and NNPC is the federal government company, and they have not decentralized to the extent of state having some shares there to take decision. It is the federal government, because if it were to be a situation whereby the state has some input to make, the president couldn't have in his opening address said subsidy has been removed. He couldn't have said it. We would have waited a situation whereby those people who owns the company will come together and take decision. But it is owned solely by the federal government. So any blame they are shifting to the state, I don't know why they are doing that. Because most of the policies they are doing,
they don't involve
the state. And they will just do it unilaterally. And it will start impacting on the life of the people. What they are saying, obviously, they went in to do the issue of financial autonomy because of their own personal interest. It's not because of the interest of the local government.
Okay, now one would think that the reason why the local government autonomy even came to be at all is so that different local governments could be developed, because some are not.
That is what I'm trying to say. They ought to have carried the state along, because if you are not an insider, you wouldn't know what is happening. I'm talking because I was an insider when I was local government chairman. I was under the control of our governor. Notwithstanding, I'm banking, my local government was banking with Central Bank. We get our money, we will normally got our money earlier than any other state, any other local government, because we bank with Central Bank. Immediately the money is remitted, we will be told.
What to use the money for?
Yeah, no, we will be told that the money has been entered into our account.
It wasn't the days of alert.
Yes, we know that we don't have phone that time with the alert. No, but we have some informant that will tell us that our money has come into the bank. We can make use of it. Then what is mandatory is that you must pay salary. Statutorily, you must pay salary. When others come out, you see circulars from the state. You do this, you do this, you do this, and anywhere you ignore, there's problem. So that is to tell you that local government has not even had that autonomy they are talking about. They have not.
Never.
And as at that time, we don't even have legislative arm. It's only the
councillors.
Yes, we don't have councillors as at that time. What we have is supervisory councillors, which is F&G, Finance and General Purposes Committee, that approves where you bring all the projects you want to execute, present it before them. They will and get approval before you start working on it, because these are the things the auditors will like to see. If you go into any project without F&G approval, it's a query for them. It's a query. So most of these things you find out that they are talking about autonomy. That autonomy is not comprehensive. It's not comprehensive because the state is still controlling even the 5% of internal generation of revenue that's supposed to go to local government. Not even one kobo has been given to us as at the point in time. And as inquiries I made recently, or even all the while, have told me that the state doesn't even give it out. Because the entire generation of revenue, 5% of it is supposed to go to local government. But the state doesn't give. Rather, the state will be the one taking from the local government.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the only way that the local government areas can have full autonomy is if they operate without the state's influence.
Yes.
No influence from the state government.
Exactly.
They
that
must
is
operate on
that
their
is
own.
by removing this state NSEC. That's one. If you remove the state NSEC, that's a situation whereby a neutral body conduct the election. You know quite well that if you are
is there going to be any form of neutrality in that form where whichever body that becomes the umpire does not have any influence from the government of any level?
Yes, but another point is the issue of this party.
We're talking about INEC.
Yes, that's what
having the influence of the federal government.
Then we know
state government.
No,
and
but
then SEC or state.
No. But you know quite well there is a semblance of independence if it is INEC, unlike the state electoral commission. State electoral commission is their members are appointed by the governor, and they do the biddings of the governor. Obviously.
So there should be INEC.
If it is
NCA,
yes, if it is
should be
no,
another body.
INEC has to be scrapped out. What is the
state electoral
yes,
bodies?
yes, they are not independent. Obviously, because you must do the bidding of the government. Oh, that is the point. But if it is INEC will have semblance of independence, notwithstanding that there can be influence. But the influence is not as much as that of the governor dictating for those people he has appointed as members of the electoral committee, state electoral committee. And another point is the issue of primaries. You know, they should actually introduce independent candidates. Because if you introduce it, so when one is so popular, he can come out and contest the election and win. But once you are under the party and you fail to get the ticket of the party, you cannot run, no matter how popular you are. So this is another problem we have on our hand. So the independence of the local government is still a very big problem that more work had to be done apart from financial autonomy that
so you're saying that
being granted by the
surface of this autonomy hasn't been scratched yet.
No,
there's a lot.
No. There are a lot.
Okay, now talking about the local governments that pulled out, do you think they pulled out because they feel like, okay, what's the need of having this money if we still have to be controlled, or is it like a mark of loyalty?
You see, more local government chairmen will pull out. I don't know reason why they did it, but I must have to tell you that they didn't do it without the consent of their government. They did not, and it depends on how much they are contributing to that association, and what are the benefits they are getting from the association. They may have weighed it and decided and said, no, we are not going to be part of AGON, because even those people who are officials of AGON are very rich because of the money they collect from all these local governments as contribution. They have a hotel in Abuja. Yes. When I was national auditor, I stayed in their hotel.
AGON Hotel.
Yes, when I have not gotten an accommodation. Yes, it's in Asukuru or Maitama, I think Maitama. That is it. So that's to tell you they are living in affluence.
I mean, that's a highbrow area.
Yes, they are living in affluence. So probably these are the things they have assessed. And you know, to get in there is a very big war. Is that like another election? Because they know quite well that if you are in there, you are comfortable. Because the money coming from 774 local government will make you very comfortable. That is the point. So I believe that Oyo chairman may have assessed and find out what the contribution they have been making to AGON and what have AGON been given in return to those contributions and decide to pull out.
Your point is that it has nothing with to do with the Supreme Court.
No, it has nothing to do with it at all. The issue of AGON.
They said they don't want to enjoy this fiscal autonomy.
That is what I'm trying to tell you. They cannot do it outside their governor.
You're saying that this is the hand of Jacob, or the voice of Jacob.
That is the point.
Oh.
They cannot do it. And actually, like when other states will study it, they will equally do the same thing.
You are envisaging more pullouts.
Yes, I'm envisaging it because of the fact that no local government that has not gotten attachment of the state government, none. You cannot come out and tell the governor, if governor wants you to remit some money for state function or some function, and you tell him, please, governor, I have an independence. You cannot be telling me this kind of stories. What are you saying? Before you know it, you will be removed. They can even arrange the councillors to vote against you. Yes, and impeach you. There are ways the governors can do it. What they needed is to mobilize some councillors. Before you know it, they are voted against you, and you are gone. And then you'll be an ex-chairman, and then the deputy will take over if they will like the deputy. If not, they will pitch the deputy and yourself and bring another person.
Okay, so
that's the point.
Envisaging more pull-out.
Yes,
This pulls
exactly.
through. And you're saying that it is not illegal for them to pull out of
No,
ALGON,
it's not illegal.
and it's not illegal for them to boycott the
They are not
judgment.
illegal, not even to say that they are not going to obey that decision. Because, like I said, if you're a non-party to a suit, you are not bound to obey that.
So they know what they are doing. Actually.
They are not party to local government chairman. Look, 774 local government. We are not party to that suit.
Oh.
It was the federal government against 36 states. So local government have right to say, I'm not obeying it. And nothing happens. That's what I'm saying, that if the judges of the Supreme Court ought to have gone further than by directing the National Assembly to amend that section of the Constitution. Because if that section stays there, 162, even if you get your money, the governor can say, come together, you people will hold meeting there, you bring the money back again.
All right, so
From
what,
the back.
what
So that's
amendments
what-
are you recommending at this point?
What I'm saying, 162 says there should be joint account.
There shouldn't be a joint account.
There should be,
Okay.
so that there's a pool of money coming in. That money goes to the pool, and it is the pool. Before the government, it was the pool that divide the money. They will now get your needs. You present it before the joint account. The joint account will know what you need and then distribute it, even beyond or less than what you have as an allocation. You are just having the paper for the sake of having the paper as an allocation. But what actually goes to you is what the joint account has decided at the end of the day.
All right, thank you very much,
Thank you so much.
I Chief, for lending voices to focus this morning, the legal and political imperative of local government autonomy by Court of Oyo State Council Chairman. The whole 33, lot of them in number, saying they are no longer part of ALGON and they are not going to be bound by the Supreme Court's verdict. Okay. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. We are not able to take calls for want of time. Thank you, dear listener, for being with us. And that other conversation we had earlier around food security in Enugu State, we will be talking with actual farmers by 10 o'clock. You join us then. Our phone lines will be open for your participation. My name is Ngozika Mba. Thanking you for listening and asking you to join TC on Sunrise Sports. Choma?
My name is Chioma Agolana